One of the biggest headaches in business, ladies and gentlemen, is having a product or having an idea. Maybe I'm talking about entrepreneurs here. Having an idea, having a business, having a service, having a product, but lacking the audience or lacking the customers. It is one of the biggest headaches there is. But you see, every time we are doing something to come up with an idea or come up with a business, chances are that we have listened to the voice of instinct. And the more we listen to the voice of instinct, the more we are able to download the right idea at the right time. Look at Steve Jobs coming up with Apple at a time and coming up with, iPods and iPhones at a time that those things are not even needed, so to speak, in life. He said, customers do not know, it is our responsibility to tell them what they need. And he was doing all that through the power of instinct. I want us to continue today to share about the importance of listening to our voice, the importance of listening to the voice of instinct in our lives. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Today, technology is trying to hook up people. There are very many websites and there are very many apps out there. There are actually very many businesses that are trying to connect people. I'm talking about love relationships, connecting a man and a woman and so on. And it's one of those needs that we have. We have a need for connection. But you guys, do you know, even before these apps were there, some of our parents, in fact, the guys that came before us, how were they connecting one to another? I know that this is controversial. I know that some of them were connecting rudimentarily, one family meets another family and so on and so forth, and the two get married and so on. I know in some traditions that's what used to happen. But I also know in some traditions, or maybe in some other parts of life, people just know that one is the right one, and the flesh is not even in the picture, and so on. That's just the person that is there for me. That is part and parcel of the voice of instinct speaking to us. And in the same manner, by the way, do you know, in the same manner, instinct also speaks to us when we know this is the wrong person, this is a bozo, this one is going to waste me, or this one, she is a liar. And our hearts are melting and our knees do not have strength and all those things are going on. But instinct is screaming, run away, this is not the right one, run away, this is not the right one. Instinct is always screaming and telling us. And sometimes we don't listen, and then when we fall for it and we get burnt, probably even when it comes to investments and ideas, instinct is telling us and warning us, some red flag here, some red flag there, and we don't listen. And at the end, when we've lost it, when we've lost the deal, when our hearts have been burnt and our hearts have been broken and things have happened, we remember, oh, by the way, I should have listened to that voice. That voice told me I should have listened. It was too good for me to believe, but I didn't. I should have listened. That is always the voice of instinct. But I'm talking about The power of instinct today when it comes to mixing and matching, especially in terms of connecting us to our relevant audience. And let me just derive that bit for some minute. I do believe that every one of us has an audience. And when I talk about an audience, I'm not necessarily talking about a speaker, speaking to people, or someone having a podcast, or someone having some kind of listenership, some kind of tribe. I'm talking every one of us has someone that they need to serve, or they have been sent to serve. Someone that they are passionate about, someone whose heart, they have compassion for them. When they hurt, they are pained. When that person hurts, you get some pain in your heart and in your spirit. And when that person is winning, you are excited and you are joyous. Every one of us has an audience, whether you're an accountant, or whether you're a preacher, or you're a podcaster, or you're this number cruncher, or you're this coder, entrepreneur. Each and every one of us, whether you're a businessman, or you're a teacher, or whoever it is, you're a government official, each and every one of us at the rudimentary level, we have an audience that we are passionate about. In that when they succeed, we get fulfillment. When they fail, we get harassed in our spirits until we've come up with a solution for them. That is how life operates. But the question is, how do you get connected? How do we get connected to the right audience? Ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the other functions of instinct. We've been discussing the power of instinct, the advantages of listening to instinct, and we saw so far that first of all, instinct is going to connect you to what your purpose is. When you listen to instinct, it's going to land you smack in the middle of what your purpose is. And we saw that when you listen to instinct, number 2, you're going to get connected to something that instinct has seen and is able to connect its dots going forward, even when you yourself at the moment in time have no clue what it is. Yours is to trust what the instinct is and to follow through. And later on you look back and you'll consider that if I hadn't listened to the voice of instinct, I would have lost this idea, or have lost this and that. And then thirdly, we saw that instinct is what gives life to ideas. In other words, ideas that are worth pursuing. Hot ideas. People normally go out there on Facebook and on social media and they come up with these things. If I had X amount of money, what kind of idea should I generate? Should I invest this money in so that I can get X amount of feedback, X amount of income out of it? Let me tell you something. Instinct is what gives life to ideas. It gives you the correct ideas that you should pursue. It gives the correct ideas that you should invest in. And today we are saying that instinct is what harmoniously connects you to your audience. See, one of the greatest headaches in business is dichotomy between a product and the market. Instinct has this precise ability to connect you harmoniously to those that need your craft and need your product. Again, this is not to say that you will not face setbacks when you engage in instinct. It doesn't mean that anything that you following through that has come to instinct will 100% work, 100% land you onto the right audience and so on and so forth. Sometimes there is the idea of process, trial and error, but instinct is always going to land you within the region, within the margin of error when you follow it. You will have some setbacks here and there. However, with the use of instinct, you'll be connected to the very people that are looking for you. Your audience is not the whole wide world. Your idea is not to serve the whole wide world. It is just a fraction of some kind of people. Instinct has the ability to see the future and to know what kind of people you will want, who will be offering what you need, or who will be needing what you're offering. It is through the power of instinct, because instinct instinct sees the whole ecosystem. Instinct sees the whole shebang, the whole 360 degrees, every single detail. It sees the suppliers, it sees the contractors, it sees the employees, it sees the consumers. At the end of the day, it sees the government. Instinct sees the whole thing. So you might just be downloading an idea here, and you're not the only person that instinct is working with today. There is someone who is saying, oh, I have this amount of cash that I need to sink into this kind of a business that does this kind of a thing. And the problem is that they are looking for that kind of a person, and the person heard the voice of instinct and did not answer. But when that person answers, when you answer the voice of instinct and you go ahead and you download the idea and you start running with the idea, guess what? It is in the domain of instinct to connect that idea to the correct audience. And the audience can vary from one person to another. The audience can be an investor, or the audience can be the end consumer or the end user to your product. But they cannot be end user of the product if instinct was not activated. My point is simple. When you listen to the voice of instinct, chances are that you'll be 100% correct with the kind of audience that you're going to generate, or the kind of audience that you're going to serve. Remember, each and every one of us has an audience. That is why at the moment it might seem stupid what you are doing, but instinct has you sorted out even before you began. That's one more reason as to why you and I need to be careful and need to be trusting and to be faithful to the voice of instinct whenever it communicates to us. We don't see the whole staircase. We don't see the whole idea. We don't see who we're going to operate with or transact with. But as long as we are faithfully following the voice of instinct in the moment, it has the audience sorted out. I hope this makes sense to you. Until tomorrow, when we're closing on this idea of listening to instinct, I'm saying bye-bye. A special shout out to my mentor Jeffrey Howard of Visionary Business University, found at mastermindmentor.com, who has graciously provided me with the soundtrack and the introductory track to this podcast. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.